Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that Twin Cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my light beside the golden door. Emma Lazarus.
This is Hattie Nessel, and we're at Athol Orange Community Television in Athol, and we're also recording on radio WVAO-LP Athol 105.9 FM. What we are talking about today is, for the people on the radio, there was a beautiful display, pictures of the Statue of Liberty. And then after the Statue of Liberty was shown and Emma Lazarus' poem was read, we saw the immigrants coming in on boats years and years and years ago, in the early 40s through the Holocaust, particularly throughout Europe. 21 countries were involved in the killings of mostly Jews, but also gypsies and other religions that were not welcome in those particular times and in those countries. And what we have going on now in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, the border between Mexico and our country, a lot of immigrants are coming to our shores again. And we need to remember our history. That's what's very important here, our history. And we are represented here in Massachusetts by Representative Jim McGovern. And for the people on the radio, his number is 978-466-3552. Senator Elizabeth Warren, her number for people on the radio is 617-565-3170. And Senator Ed Markey, his number is 617-565-8519. So this program is called Save the Planet, and we've had this same title for a long time. And part of saving the planet is saving people who need to come and have refuge in our shores. So Emma Lazarus was born, this is quite historic really, July 22nd, 1849 in New York, and she was descended from Sephardic Jewish Americans. She was a great poetess, and she wrote many beautiful poems and had them published. But she had written one particular one, which we're all familiar with. It's been taught to us in our history courses at every school. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shores, send these, the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. So we want to thank our representatives for helping us sort out what is going on in that border from Mexico, and helping make sure that everybody that wants to come here and has no criminal record, of course, children, whatever, come in a safe, secure way. Unfortunately, that's not what's been happening. And what's been happening is that the people that are coming as families have been split away from their children. It's painful, painful, painful to think of, even from what I've heard on the radio or television, even babies that don't even know their own names and they haven't been properly identified with their parents, and their parents have been sent back to their native countries where they've come from to escape the danger that faces them where they live. So we need to change that and make it safe for immigrants to come into this country and not be separated from their children. The children shouldn't be held for more than 72 hours legally, but they have been. Some of them may never see their parents again because of how unprofessional the process was to have them identified correctly and taken to a relative, an appropriate shelter that would be appropriate for families, etc. There was a opinion piece in the Greenfield Recorder, and it said something like, "Can't we just move the Statue of Liberty to the southern border? Perhaps that symbol of welcome to our nation of immigrants would lead to more humane treatment of those seeking to enter our country for a better life." The general approach seems to be intimidation and bullying at the border to discourage future would-be migrants and asylum seekers, an approach to adversaries that our president employs all too often. First, it was separating migrant children from their parents with no real plan to reunite them. That was an inhumane policy, something you can only imagine conceived by an immature person. Most recently, the deaths of 2 migrant children in just over 2 weeks raised new doubts about the ability of the U.S. border authorities to care for the thousands of minors arriving and with their families. Some of them, but some of them not with their families. An 8-year-old boy identified by Guatemalan officials as Felipe Gomez Alonso died in U.S. custody at a New Mexican hospital on Christmas Eve after suffering a cough, vomiting, and fever. The cause is under investigation, as is the death on December 8th of another Guatemalan child, 7-year-old Jacqueline Call. Incoming U.S. Representative Veronica Escobar, said that there was a real failure with what was going on there. We need to send a message through our elected officials telling them that we want these people to be safe. And our elected officials, again, are Senator Ed Markey, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and Representative Jim McGovern. We don't want children dying at the border because they haven't been properly housed or kept with their families. It's very, very sad what's going on. And it reminds me a lot of what went on in Nazi Germany, because that's my background, and my relatives came over during those early years before the Holocaust. So they came and they enabled me to be born here and have a safe life in terms of my immigrant status. So we're right now seeing a huge spike in hate crimes. And that's a huge problem. There's prejudice against race, ethnicity, national origin, reported bias for hate crimes, representing 53.9% of the total of the hate crimes. According to the Anti-Defamation League's annual audit of anti-Semitic incidents there were 177 anti-Semitic incidents of vandalism, harassment, assault in Massachusetts in 2017. Anti-Semitic incidents rose by 254% over 2015, when the ADL reported 50 such incidents. So we've gone from 2015 having 50 hate crimes to 2017, 177. The hate crimes data collected after a quality check will be submitted to the FBI for further analysis. Before the Nazi takeover of power in 1933, Europe had a vibrant and mature Jewish culture. By 1945, most European Jews, 2 out of every 3, had been killed. When attempting to document numbers of victims of the Holocaust, the single most important thing to keep in mind is that there's not one master list. The estimates may raise and lower, but that's what happened. And I'm just going to mention a few of those statistics, just a few. There were 21 countries noted by the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. that participated in some way, shape, or form with killing of Jews because they were Jews, which is what happened in the temple in Pittsburgh. Those 11 people were killed simply because they were Jews. So I'm just going to mention that originally, before the war, before the Nazis took over, in Poland there were 3,350,000 Jews. After the war was over, 3 million of the 33 million, 3 million were killed, have been killed. And you can look those statistics up in Denmark, in Estonia, in France, in Germany, of course, Greece, Czechoslovakia had huge statistics of, so we want to make sure that that doesn't happen here. And I just want to mention there are lots of books that can be read, and this one is The White Rose, and it was students at the university in Germany, in Munich, that were trying to alert people and save the Jews. So it's not like some people didn't try, but it wasn't quite enough. So we want to remember Emma Lazarus and the Statue of Liberty and how we can help and save people. Thank you for listening to AOTV.